So we're still camping at the Mile High Campground in Cherokee, North Carolina. And for dinner tonight, we're staying with the theme of using the smoked brisket that Mr. Fish made and brought with him for this trip. Tonight, we are making mouth-watering brisket chili. Check this out. Y'all need to know something. Fish is a championship chili maker, so this is going to be some amazing stuff. So let's go see what he's going to put in it.
Fire force, man, that's going good. Imagine that. Air makes all the difference. Let's go roast some of these. Got some jalapenos we're going to roast. Woo, that's hot. And we got a poblano pepper we're going to roast. We're going to char up the skin a little bit just to get some flavor and some color texture on it. We're going to put that in our chili. Man, that's a good char, right? Chop up a bell pepper. We're going to grow some bell peppers here. That ought to be good. There's some. Yes. Paper. It's a little harder to devein and peel when they're mushy. That's all right. These charred our ball peppers in here. So we just roasted poblano peppers and 2 jalapeno peppers on the fire, as you see right here. We do that just to give it a lot of extra flavor. It has this kind of smoky kick. If you've ever tasted chipotle peppers or dried jalapeno peppers, kind of get that essence of that kind of earthiness out of it. So after we roast them, we run them under some water and peel the skin off of it. That doesn't break down very well in the chili. Then we go ahead and remove the skins, put them in the pot. We simmer that for about 30 minutes to 40 minutes with peppers and onions, and then we're going to add some garlic at the last end. Then we'll add some beef stock, and then we'll add some beef bouillon just to kind of give it a little bit of extra beefy kick. Then we're going to go ahead and add some sliced up smoked beef brisket. All right, so we got this brisket that we smoked. This is the flat of it, the point I've already eaten. That was delicious. So we're going to cut these up in probably 1/4-inch squares and throw them in the chili with some different sauces. Let that go. So we're just gonna inside of the brisket, isn't that beautiful? And each piece is going to be chopped up in little squares. Any fat that's left in there will render down.
Extra flavor.
Extra flavor. Fat is flavor, folks. Here we go. Make it go a little bit faster. Now this is refrigerated meat. See how easily it just kind of cuts through it?
Yeah, and this one there's no juices flowing out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
All the juice is rendered back into fat. It's just kind of hanging in there.
Yes. This is going to break down so nicely. This just smells wonderful. There's nothing in this world that compares to fire roasted peppers. Hello. I was talking to myself, not you, but that's okay. You can listen to me. All right, so our peppers and onions are nice and tenderized, so we're gonna go ahead and put some beef broth in there. That should be good. Probably about 2 cups of that, I would suppose. And then we're gonna let that heat up, put the meat in. We're gonna put some canned stuff. I like diced tomatoes, 1 can of tomato sauce, and then we're gonna use half a can of tomato paste. So my brisket, lovely flavor. When I season my brisket, I use whole ground cherry peppers, and I put them in an old spice grinder, otherwise known as like a spinning coffee grinder. Grind it up to almost a powder, maybe a little bit coarse. You got some fine stuff, you got some coarse stuff. That's going to permeate into the meat as you cook it. So I do 2 parts on my brisket. I do 2 parts of pepper, 2 parts of salt, and 1 part of garlic powder. Mix that up, and I coat the entire meat until you can't see any meat anymore. I let it sit out for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and let the moisture get pulled out. It's going to emulsify and dissolve all that salt. As you cook it, it's going to pull that back into the meat, and it's going to season the meat. That's why you need to use a lot of salt, a lot of pepper, because I cook 20 pounds. That's a lot of meat.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Don't want to eat that. Got some diced tomatoes we're going to go ahead and throw in here. Let them soften up as they cook a little bit. Put in this tomato paste. So let's talk about this beef bouillon kind of stuff I made. It is kind of look like a gelatin. You grab a spoon, show you the kind of consistency of it. All this is a little bit of beef stock and beef broth left over from the cook, from the brisket that I cook. All 20 pounds of it, all the liquid that cooked out and the fat and everything else ended up in the bottom of the butcher paper. So I saved that, I rendered it down, let it cool, removed all of the fat on top, and what's left is just a little bit of liquid, lots of salt, lots of pepper, and lots of really good beef flavor. So I added some beef stock to it, and then I thickened it up with some cornstarch, and so essentially I've made my own beef bouillon. But we're going to put about 2 tablespoons in here and go with that. If we need to add more, we can always add more. Okay, so in my chili, I do a lot of flavors. It's best if you get your own flavors, kind of find what works for you, what kind of flavors you're looking for. I like to smell and taste my chili before I put it in. I've done this off camera already. Obviously you start with chili powder. That's a good base to start with. I don't like to use the mixes, that's where I got my start, but it just left me wanting more. I put cayenne pepper in it. I put chipotle pepper in it, which is, again, it's dried up, ground up jalapeno peppers. Lots of cumin. I love cumin, or cumin, or however you say it. Smoked paprika is always a winner for me. I've got onion powder, garlic powder, and then I've also got some fresh cracked red pepper, or black pepper, sorry. So those are the bases that I start with. I'm going to go ahead and add those now with my brisket, and then later on, before we serve, we're going to freshen it up with another dump of spices. Let's see.
What is that? That's a lot of whatever you put in.
That's chili powder. Added chili powder. I added the chipotle, so we're gonna do. I already did that one. Let's do. That's not open yet, so we'll do a little bit. Okay. a lot of it of smoked paprika, probably about a teaspoon maybe. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to cut this down and let it simmer for a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and add this diced up brisket. Probably got 2.5 pounds for 2 people. I hope that's enough. Let's go ahead and get this all coated.
Oh, that looks so good. So without giving too much away, tell us a little bit about something that you do with your chili that makes it stand out and makes it championship chili.
Well, I've had a lot of teachers and a lot of people help instruct me on how to look for different flavors and how to build different flavors. So essentially what you're going to try to do when you're making chili is you don't just want one flavor in there. You don't just want to add jalapeno peppers, you know, or you don't want to just add arbol or one type of pepper. If you can build your flavors with 3 or 4 or 5 different peppers, that's beautiful. You know, you're going to get different layers as you taste it. The longer you simmer, the better it's going to be. And it sounds silly, but I add a few tablespoons of apple cider vinegar when you're ready to serve it. That's going to add a little bit of acidity, a little more complexity, and it's going to add a lot of brightness to it, and that's going to make that stand out, and it's going to make it taste delicious.
So after it's cooked?
After while it's cooking, the last 15-20 minutes. Yes.
So how long do we need to let those flavors get to know each other there?
These things will want to mix up for an hour, maybe 2 hours. Before you even want to add too much in it. It's kind of thick right now. As it goes, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more beef broth, because as you steam it out, the beef broth is just going to get a stronger, beefier flavor, and so that that chili is just going to taste all beef.
So what you're telling me is I'm going to have to sit here for the next hour or 2 smelling that.
That's correct.
Wow. Okay. Let's see how that's going to go.
Well, just pour yourself another whiskey. I'll have myself another beer. And we'll enjoy this fire and this beautiful weather. It's what, 6:30 at night and about what, 65, 68 degrees. Nice breeze coming through.
Good place to be.
Good place to be in the middle of August.
So the chili's been cooking for a couple hours now. We added some kidney beans and a couple other little ingredients to it, but now it's ready to serve up. We got some hoe cakes to go with it. We're fixing to dive into this stuff.
Because someone here, me, didn't remember to bring a ladle. We're doing it the Sloppy Joe way. Go ahead and do that. Wipe it off. Alright, so the way we're going to serve this, we're going to go ahead and get one of these The way we're going to serve this up is we're going to put one of these hoe cakes in each one of these. And they're good for sopping up some of those extra juices. Just like that.
So we are going to sit here with this brisket chili. Watch that beautiful sunset over there.
Oh, colors.
Have a couple of adult beverages.
A couple? A lot.
And then call it a night.
A night.
Oh, that is so good.
That's not too bad. Break it up.
So are you hungry yet? If you enjoyed that, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also go over and subscribe to Mr. Fish's channel for some of his cooking videos. And while we sit back fat and happy, you remember to prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. See you next time.